This card is called Past Life, Present Power. And this is from the Isis Oracle by Alana Fairchild. And this was the card that I pulled for myself today. And I had started to record, but I decided not to continue because I gotten thrown off of my. I just got triggered. So I decided I was going to step away, but I wanted to share this message. And Diaz and I were speaking. And as I said before, I feel better. And I think that this is the part of being able to support one another. As we started to talk about what was going on and how I was feeling, and it made me feel better. So I appreciate that of her. But anyway, um, I wanted to at least share what I had gotten so far out of this the book about this particular card. Again, the past life, present power, the many spiritual faces of you. When the soul is growing in service to humanity, in service to the great feminine and her call that all beings be healed and free, it gathers internal resources to assist on the path. These resources include powers and gifts from other lifetimes. You are currently integrating past life abilities, and you are guided by the oracle of past life, present power to be open to shifting internally and in your experience of your own levels of power and spiritual ability. Talents, abilities, and powers wish to be wish to you okay? All right.
Yeah.
Talents, abilities, and powers wish to be restored to you now from past incarnations. This will help your path. You will often be able to recognize this because you will feel some instant fascination or a deep interest for a culture, a philosophy, a heritage, or even place on the earth or beyond, which is deeply compelling. This is your intuitive recognition that a part of your soul, connected with this passionate interest, is being drawn into integration. At such time, there can be emotions, feelings, and even phobias or fears that temporarily arise. You may even find your taste for food and clothing and your sleep or other habits change quickly and noticeably for a time. These can all be signs that a past life energy is being integrated. Hmm.
Mm.
Right, exactly.
Uh-oh. Well, that was another thing that I was speaking with my masculine about. Like, just because I know the journey is more of a spiritual journey, I was like, oh my gosh, I hope I don't fall into the Jezebel spirit. I remember them days.
Mm, mm,
You were like, oh my God. When anybody, you be like, oh, you want my number? What you got? But you have to
mm.
understand that when he brings you from old to new, you're washed and clean and you're reborn again. And he, just listening to the beginning of that, knowing about the young force of within you, the feminine energy that you possessed when you were a younger woman, a young girl growing, your imagination was that much more stronger. And your belief system was really truly, in a belief. I kind of got choked up there because my a unicorn. I had this little figurine, a little glass unicorn that was always something very favorite to me, and it was on top of a little circular mirror.
Mm-hmm.
It in the ascension process of just learning your own self and your own spiritual connection with yourself and with God, there's a part in your ascension where you deal with unicorn consciousness,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and just
That
knowing
is
that
funny
when
that
you
you said that
really
because I
see
remember
that.
I was telling my masculine a few months ago. I said something and I said, and I believe in unicorns, and I was like, don't judge me. Let's not even go there. He was like, unicorns. I was like, don't even. Just let it be. Yes.
You know,
Newborn.
that's the strongest imagination that you could have, is to be able to remember those types of things about yourself that you know that are facets of yourself that you've lost over the years, being daughter, sister, brother, cousin, you know, niece, nephew. You lose yourself trying to put yourself in all these character roles that everybody wants you to be put in, or try to put you in and fit you in, when you're a square and you're trying to go into a circle,
Right.
you
This,
know.
you know that song, that little kid song, Puff the Magic Dragon?
Hmm.
I cry every time I hear it and every time I sing it. I love that song, but I'm telling you, I see it every time I sing it. I imagine it, the whole journey of this little boy who loved to play with, dragons, and then those things start to fall away when you learn about life. And Puff is still waiting for Jackie to return, and he never does come back. And just that, I'm telling you, I'm crying. I got tears right now just telling you the way it touches me that I
Hmm.
experienced that, but just feel the empathy for Puff, the dragon. Um,
Yeah.
I felt that, that abandonment. I guess maybe that's the abandonment. Okay, I say, go. Thank you. All right, that's part of it. I can relate to Puff being abandoned because Jackie Paper came no more, right?
Hmm.
And no more imagination, no more that freedom of youth, the ability to dream, like we were talking about before, the ability to let your imagination run wild. And as we get more and more, inundated with, responsibilities of, parenting and work and school and
Yeah,
all,
the mind is a heavy thing.
it can only handle but so much. And sometimes we have to make way for other choice, which is being responsible and not giving yourself a moment, a chance to breathe and to dream,
And
not
just
to,
be.
and just be, and allow yourself to drift back into those memories of good times before somebody broke your heart.
Right.
Before there was nothing but you and a ball, and or a puppy, or a GI Joe doll, or a Barbie. You know what I'm saying? When it was just nothing, the only responsibility you had is to make sure you got to the table on time when dinner was called, and get in the tub before you even
Hmm.
had to worry about school. Just the little toddler time.
Yeah.
And the just how life just robs us of that innocence. And every now and then, and maybe it's a form of escapism or whatever, or just maybe it's just something that sometimes your soul needs to do to give you a chance to regenerate, to
The
give you a
soul
chance
always,
to,
yeah, the soul always knows what to do in order to cleanse itself.
mhm, and to bring you back to your purpose
Oh
and your
yeah.
point. Because I know that there's a part of me that's also that little, not only the little girl that needs to be healed, is also a little boy in there that needs to be healed too.
Yeah, there's all the masculinities, within us, and
Right,
each
right.
soul has the three, bodies, that where we hold pain and where we hold victimization, and
Mm-hmm,
you
mm-hmm.
know all the
Right.
thoughts and dreams that we thought that we shoulda, didda, woulda, couldas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, this is the next paragraph here says, once it's digested into your current incarnation, you will feel more like yourself again, but in an expanded and a more whole way. You'll just feel like more of yourself, more stable, more full, and more at home in your own being. It's a lovely state of being to enjoy, which makes any ups and downs in the integration process more bearable. Well, that's true. Because when you get a gift after you've been through the trial and the tribulation, it's like, oh, okay. Whew.
Right. And it's even that much more wonderful with bliss when it's
Mhm.
from God.
Right, exactly. Well, that's where all the gifts come from. They don't come from nowhere else.
That's why I was laughing so funny about certain things when it comes to that about gifting, because I've always been a person who, sounds kind of crazy, but um, I didn't really like surprises all the time, you
Right.
know,
Hmm.
and I couldn't figure it out for a while, but I like them surprises that he gives.
All right now.
Yeah, yeah, I like I like the surprises that God gives.
Okay, because the way you said it was sounding a little Jezebel there, Missy. Mm.
Oh well, no, I guess maybe it's because you can't see my facial
Right,
my face,
I
my
know.
facial figures, and it's kind of
I know.
like, yeah. I was kind of humbling down, like, yeah.
Yeah. I know. I'm just teasing you, dog.
Oh no, no.
Let me see.
Maybe he's crooning me to be a bride of Christ.
Anyway.
Mess around, you be like us. She done went to the convent and turned into a nun. No, just kidding.
Hey, if that's your path, then that's the path. Anyway. Oh, look, this. Oh, wait. Wait. Oh, God. This oracle brings specific guidance that some of these past gifts from other incarnations are associated with ancient Egypt and civilizations connected with ancient Egypt, earthly and beyond, including some star civilizations such as Sirius and
Uh-huh.
Pleiades.
Uh-huh.
Ha 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 ha
Yes.
ha
Yes,
ha.
ma'am. Yes,
Spirit
ma'am.
is too funny. Look for the symbols, books, crystals, or colors that interest you and pay attention to your dreams. It is helpful to be conscious of any issues around the past life skills returning to you now. You will become aware of them so that they can be acknowledged, accepted, and released. So, Pleiades, this is
Yes.
what we started off talking about, right? This
Yes.
is what we were going to talk about today when I decided I could not do another thing because I had gotten triggered. But see
Mhm.
how spirit wanted that to be addressed, how that
Yes.
needed to come up. See, that's
Yes.
why I love my Agun. They work with me.
Anyone who didn't understand exactly what those are, that the Pleiades are in the cosmos, in the heavens, they kind of oversee certain things that come down to help. And if you want to look that up, it's spelled Pleiadians, Palladians. But we'll talk about that.
Well, no,
Uh,
let's explain, what that is. What is Cirrus, besides the
Sirius is
Pleiades?
they have different planets, part A and part B.
So
Now that is
is
part
it a different
that's
solar
up in the
system?
sky. Most of all of the stars in the astrology you can see by the naked eye, but there are these particular Sirius A, Sirius B. We can see the Orion, and then we can also the Palladians. They're far, far, but you can't see those types of stars. Normally, you would see the little dippers and stuff like that. You see those types of stars because those that can be seen with
So
the
you
naked.
saying that
But when you're
Sirius?
speaking of those are within up in the heavens. Those are
I
the ones
know.
who come down to help us, the heavenly angels.
I understand. I'm trying to ask a question because I just want to make sure we're getting this clear because not all of us can get it as well as you've gotten it, um, Kata. Is this part of our solar system or is it
Yes,
outside of our solar system?
it's part of a little bit outside of the solar system, but our solar system, of course, has a connection with it. But when you're up and above outside of the solar system,
No, no, no,
it's
no, no, no. Stay down here with us. Stay down here with us, honey. Stay down here with us. Stay here with us. I'm just trying to, because this is the thing that is scary. You know what I'm saying? Does this really, honest to God, it sounds very outlandish.
I
So
know,
I'm
I
trying
know.
to I want to understand it for myself because I told you when I went to conscious. Evolution. I think that's the name of this of the young lady that does these readings. And when she said that, and I took a, just Googled it, and I started to look at it. I was like, oh no, 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 no. That's a
Mm.
little much. I don't know if I want to do all that. But that's
Well,
why you were ended. That's why you ended up coming into, the chat that day, and I think that that's why we were connected. So I think part of this, and again, I said let's talk about this today, but I got thrown off. But it's coming back because this is the card that I pulled.
mm,
Is I want I'm trying to understand it like as if you were talking to a third grader who has no idea what you're talking about. So I'm saying if I was standing on top of the earth, even if I was standing on top of a pyramid, if I had a telescope, the strongest telescope, are these
you can't
Cyrus and
you can't
Pallades?
see them. You can't see them. Even still, you would have the only ones that could see it is those strong telescopes that they have, and all those.
Right, I know, but it's a bit. It's if we went to the Hayden Planetarium or something, they they would be able to see them.
No, not like that. You would be able to see the areas that they call those areas, but to interact with those types of areas is totally different because we would think we call them angels. We're stars, they're stars. So they help us. You just call upon them, but they have to have your best interest at heart with your love and kindness. Yeah, those are your angels.
So they're
Those
not.
those
So
are
they're
your spirit guides.
okay. Okay. So Sirius and Pallades is where the spirit guides dwell.
It's the home planets of what they call Earth. But like
Is their base. That's their
it's
base.
their base. Those are
Okay.
their bases. Each one is their bases.
And is there
And
a difference as to which are at the Sirius and which are at the Pallades?
yes, but
Okay. So
they're all have a mission.
all right. So is there so tell us which spirit guides, which archangels would be at the Sirius and which would be at the Pallades?
It's kind of different because when you're doing your own spiritual journey, each one is for you. And it could be any one of your ancestors. It could be, people that passed on. You know what I mean? It could be like those are the soul group people, your soul family.
Okay, so depending on where your soul family resides, that's which one of these stars, Sirius or Pleiades, that's where your people would be.
Right.
I got you. I'm saying people just so I'm trying to, imagine it in my little 3D head here. Okay.
Right.
So the star
So kind of like
civilizations are like two Earths.
right.
And our ancestors and our archangels and spirit guides inhabit both these Earths.
It gets deeper than that because it's more
I
than
know it does. I know it does. I know it does. Stay back
well,
here.
say okay, let me put it like this. You like prisms, you ever seen those little prisms when you're a little kid and you used to put them up in the sun or in the window and they'd have all these different colors?
Like a kaleidoscope.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like that. It's kind of
Right.
like that,
Right. Right.
but
Right.
everything is like a pixel, like you could see through like a photon belt. We have the photon belt up in, the universe. We have the photon belt. And it's like when the centuries turn, when the photon belt becomes visible and the veil is thinner, it's like everybody that's on the other side can see everything you do. Like literally see everything you do and all that you do.
But isn't that what they've always been able to do?
Yeah, but it's like a movie.
Right, but hasn't it always been like that? Or maybe I always thought it was like that. Maybe that's why I'm doing this because maybe I was already at that point where I was like, of course they're watching us. Do people not know that? I guess,
Well,
okay, all right.
every
But I
life
always imagined that they were sitting there watching us and paying
life
attention
is
to
like
what
a
we were doing.
stage. Life is like a stage. Everybody has to play their part.
Right.
We don't know everybody just because we're down here. We have to track back all the way of to who we are up there too. Like, so it's kind of like, well, because a lot of people follow horoscopes, and
Yeah.
you truly have to understand who you are in the heavens as well as what they've, you can go back to ancient times. I'm trying to keep my mind grounded to in a level so I don't take off on you
Right.
without it.
Right. Okay. But like I said, if what the lessons that I have been working through with doing the readings over the last year or two has progressed us, I think, as the collective, those people who are my subscribers and who are the viewers, um, to those lessons where we have gone through those different civilizations, ancient Greek, ancient Rome, um, different, belief systems, Buddhist, Hindu, as they come up. Now the divine feminine, the divine masculine energies, all of these things. So we're getting to that, which is why, like I said, they say when the student is ready, the teacher will come, right? So
Yeah,
that's what I think.
exactly. I was
That's
that was
connect.
where you were leading it to. That was my whole mind is thinking like, yes, it's like the heart, this, school of life.
Right. It's the lessons, and we've
The
been doing the
lessons you're
lessons.
supposed to teach lesson, but the thing about it is we want to get out of those patterns. We want to stay in the same thing, and you have to do it within each pattern of each season. And if, you
Yeah,
keep
but
trying to make those
I,
people
right.
that are only supposed to be in, just there for a season, you keep trying to make them a lifetime, that's where go against the grain. You're not standing in your truth. You're missing all the blessings that you're supposed to be getting. And then you keep praying, asking for all these, miracles and blessings. Lord, please bless me with this, giving him a laundry list. And then after you gave him the laundry list, you keep sitting there waiting, thinking like, oh, he's not answering me. You balling your fists up to him, being mad at him when that's not your purpose. You ain't supposed to be doing that, of course. But, and just instead of being quiet and getting to self and really listening because he does answer.
Right. And they're not everybody who hears any of these messages is at that level, right? Some people are
No,
just coming on to find out where their boyfriend is, and what their girlfriend, and or something about career, or something about something more regular, everyday, mundane things, and they just check in every now and then. But others of us who had that feeling that we are being awakened right now, who are part of this wave of divine masculines, feminines, people who are ascending, um, indigos, I guess, star seeds, all everybody who the planetary things that are going on that's affecting a lot of people right now. A lot of people who are spiritual beings having a human experience. We're starting to be called to duty, I guess.
yes.
We're starting to be
It's
called to duty.
it's more or less called to duty. And basically, if some had to go through initiation processes, some had to really, if you are truly in the process, then you would know by now. Um, if you're
Oh,
not,
you can
then you're
say
just keep making
that.
that person a season. But yes, we of those who have been awakened and known that who and recognize that this is a twin. This is God's blessings and offers, and and blessings from the universe to say, hey, here's this, here's your offer. You want to take this? He may not come in the same package that you want him to, but it's him.
Okay,
And
so the question is, does it have to be done right now? Like, is there a deadline? Like by December 31st, we all lose our glass slippers?
oh my God.
I don't
It's
know.
so
I'm
that's so
asking.
funny because I just this week I my gosh, this week that came into my head, Cinderella. And so I'm assuming at this point it's the reasonings of why you're bringing this up, so it's a purpose for us to be able to speak about this. But
Mhm.
it's like, oh my goodness, Cinderella, yes, yes.
Okay, so
It's not, you don't know the date because it's timelessness.
So
It's,
that's the question. Is it a like? That's what I'm asking. So is it like?
I already told you it couldn't even, it might not even be this year. It could be next year. It
That's
could
the
just
question.
be,
Yeah. That's the
you know what
question
I
I
mean?
want to ask for on
Certain
behalf of the
things of
collective.
us,
Right.
certain things of you have to fall off. Certain things have to be
Right.
washed and
So it's a
clean. And
process. It's a process.
yes,
So nobody has to feel that they have to be like scared or nervous or go, cashing in their stocks or writing their wills and shit like that before
oh
December
no,
31st.
no,
Okay, okay, okay. I'm just trying to make
no.
sure,
It's just,
you know,
look, it's
people who are
God
listening,
giving you a new
people are listening.
chance and redemption of whatever it is that that was going on in your life.
Right. Everything will come along in divine timing. But if it doesn't happen in the master year 11, 2018, that does not mean that it's not going to happen.
Right.
It just means that your awakening process began at this time.
Right. It could take a minute for
Right.
some people
Okay.
to wake up. It just depends on each, different person.
Right.
But, and what their role is,
Mm-hmm.
because he's not just awakening you to find your divine masculine. He's waking you up for a purpose so that he can wake
Exactly.
y'all up to go and do his will,
Right. Service. Right. That's the whole idea.
his service,
Mm-hmm.
and
And
make him famous. And that's what we're supposed to do.
right. And that's what we're talking about. And I've, spoken about this several times that we have to remember that this is not about a white dress at the end of the day. This
Nope.
is about what you are supposed to be doing. What is your purpose? What
Right.
is your life path?
Your own spiritual connection with God, with you and God, not your twin flame.
Right. Right. Everybody has to work out their own soul salvation, so to speak. Everybody has to
Yes,
work
yes,
out their own
ma'am.
everybody has to work
Yes,
out their own
ma'am.
contract. Right, exactly. Everybody has to work out their own contract, and so therefore, this is those people who are interested in going further, interested in understanding what's happening to them, understanding where this potentially is going to lead to for them spiritually, and again, always knowing we all have divine. We have our own will, we have our own free will, right? But divine
Yes.
order is going to be established sooner or later. If you got to go dragging and screaming, if your role is essential to the collective, then you will have to do your part. There's others of us, other people who this is not, they're just who they are, where they are, and that's good. But certain people, the way I understood it, okay, is that certain people, certain spirits signed up for certain tasks, and you're being called to duty right now. You don't remember it, but you'll start to understand and remember it as you start to ascend, right?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So we're on the right frequency for this to be happening to us, even though, like I said, when I first heard about it and I looked at it, I was like,
I
but
know, but the only way that and it was like kind of like I knew.
how did you discover that this was that
Well,
you
last year, August 1st, which was the Lionsgate, the August 1st, I had an accident. Well, I was sitting at a standstill. Well, only reason why I was sitting at a standstill in my car, the 15th car from the light, I was driving and I had an elderly lady in my back seat of my car. I was a Uber driver, and something said, how you're driving and you're thinking like, oh, I should go to the next lane. Well, I didn't because I really wasn't in a rush, but I didn't take the risk. So I sat there and I didn't trust my own intuition. So when I sat there, the lady hit me from behind.
uh-huh.
And I still didn't put two and two together, even with the Lionsgate happening that day. And I didn't really put two and two together till now. But later on, when I had acupuncture and different stuff like that. And I'm a person who holds a lot of energy. I can't wear watches.
Me either.
Yeah, I burn them out.
Yeah,
I have
me
a lot of
too.
electricity within my body. And so
Yes.
I went to
Wow.
I went and I had acupuncture for about some months, about 5, 6 months. And it allowed me to release a lot of the old energy. And
It's
the
amazing.
energy, that old energy, is a lot of the old trapped up spaces that we hold within our pain bodies, our victim, which causes us to be, our little three little childlike bodies, which is, the victim part where you're like, you wronged me, you hurt me. And then there's the area with the abuse, the sexual abuse, and different areas that they hold. And when you're going through the ascension process, it makes you purge all of that.
Well,
Even if you want to, your mind just goes back to that, and you're just like, fine, because it's you either gonna surrender to God because you call on him. He wants you to call on him. Like literally, you can't leave it to your mom, your dad, anyone, the pastor, no one. You can't. You have to literally speak it out of your mouth. It's one thing to say that you were baptized when you were a child, but that's, you were guided in a certain way, but now you want to have your own personal relationship with him. So you get to yourself and you say it, you speak it out of your mouth, and you say, God, please come into my heart.
now
He
listen here.
And
I'm
you
going to
just
say,
sit there for a minute and you meditate on that, and he will hear you. He will, when he comes into the room, you will be able to feel it. His
absolutely,
presence,
absolutely, absolutely. I
his
agree.
presence, you'll be bawling baby. You'll be a bawling baby, because I was just like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I felt so ashamed for anything that I might have done. I
Mm.
just knew that I had to follow him, and the love was comfort. I don't, I'm trying to, maybe I'm not supposed to say this, but um, when he came into my heart and I felt his love, I wanted him to touch me again with all his whole hand. He said, you would die.
Mm, 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 mm. Okay,
You would die,
I got you.
you
Well,
know? But you
I'm
chase that love after that. That's the love you chase.
right, right,
You don't
absolutely.
chase after this manly, flesh here.
Right, right, right,
But
right.
if he's going to bless you with someone to walk with you with on your journey, that's going to be loving and compassionate and love him, love you, and love the other woman, or the person that you're with on this journey, as long as you're following his footsteps with him, along with him, he will bless you. And this journey is so beautiful. I think about all the things that have undergone through, and you think about the things that I might have, could have, would have, should have done, or I'm sorry I shouldn't have did that, or whatever, because we weren't perfect. But when he washes us, and once you've come to him and he washes you, you're supposed to not turn back.
Well, I'm gonna say this much: when you were telling that story about being in that accident and getting hit from behind like that, that's exactly very similar to what happened to me, and I had to end up getting acupuncture because I had an injury. I was actually sitting still in traffic. There was an accident in front of us. We were on the parkway, and everybody was sitting still waiting for the snag to straighten out. So I'm sitting there in traffic, and all of a sudden I get boom hit in the back. And this lady was behind me, and this is what is so strange. You said you had an old lady sitting in your back seat. I got hit in the back by this ambulance, like the accessory for old people, and this girl was driving this thing, and she had old people in the vehicle. So it was an old lady in the back in her vehicle, but I was in my car by myself. I was on my way to work, and she hit me so hard that I had to actually I got hurt. I was and she said that she didn't know what she was doing because she was sitting in traffic. She's sitting in the same traffic as I am. She's right behind me. She stopped. I'm stopped. Everybody in front of us stopped, and something made her hit the gas. And then I ended up having to, like you said, get acupuncture and all of this. And I ended up having it was a court thing. I had to, do arbitration. It was a city ambulance company, so that's a business that whatever. And and I'm just pointing out the synchronicity in our experiences in a way. And when you said that you can't wear watches, I have never been able to wear a watch since I was a kid.
Oh
They would
no.
die on my arm as soon as they would be fine. They and quality Timex Boulevard,
Oh
all these
yeah.
good brands, and I would kill them. And it was because I had too much electricity in my body. to the point where I don't even wear a watch to this day because I don't need to, because I know what time it is. Basically, I can tell by the way the sun is in the sky and just other things throughout the day. I'm able to pretty much be able to tell what time it is, and I just find it so. There's not a lot of people that I know that have that same problem as far as the electricity. Having too much. I can't wear something that's not really pure gold, or else it'll turn black right away.
Right, right.
I can't mess. I've gotten better with it over the years because maybe the quality of the costume jewelry has gotten better, or because I know that I can only wear it for a couple of hours and then it has to come out.
Well, you can best believe during the ascension process, your DNA will change. Your DNA will change because God is purging you from all of the things that are not pure. When
Right.
you'll know, that's another reason why I say that you'll know when you're on the actual spiritual journey, your spiritual
Well,
journey.
yeah.
It's
Well, I've
supposed
had those.
to
I've had
wait.
those things. I've had those purgings. I've had the dark night of the soul. A few. I've had purgings. A few. So I know that as things progress, more things may or may not come. I expect. That's why I guess I'm at that place where I'm being introduced to this new concept about Pleiadians and Cyrus. I don't
Because that
like.
was a part that you tried to, that was a part of the school that you forgot to go to. You forgot to go to that class.
Right, or I'm just getting to the class now. Maybe I wasn't graduated enough yet to
Right.
get to the class.
Well, because you said that when you tried to look, that when you went there
That
once
was just a
before,
few weeks ago. That was recently. This is not a long time ago. This is like within the last month or two. This is new.
before I came to your channel.
Yeah, this is like like a week or two before you came onto the live chat. This is
Oh,
recent.
that's what I'm saying. When you said right, that's when you were telling
Yeah.
me that. I didn't know that it was only about a week before I had came on.
Yes, yes, that's what I'm saying.
Oh
I
yeah, the energies draw you just like that.
Yeah, because you were saying that you didn't understand why you were drawn into my live chat, and that could have been it, so that you could bring that to my attention. Because I had already said, I'm not. That's I ain't ready for all of that. I'm.
Well,
That
the thing
sounds
about it
scary.
is, when I first started my ascension process, I didn't know what was going on until this year in January. I just knew something wasn't right. I had always known that since I was a young girl, since I was 9, but I knew that something wasn't right. Like something was getting egging me more.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and January 25th, I just kind of like I had a breakthrough then, and it was just like I didn't react the normal way that I used to act. I
Mm-hmm.
was so calm.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that I was at 0 level. So that's when God was like, I need to work with you.
That
And
car accident that I was just telling you about,
yeah,
that
the
happened several
elementals
years ago. That
basically,
happened several years ago. But
yeah,
that is exactly the same type of thing. Standing still in traffic, and somebody just hits you from the back, and then I ended up in acupunctures
it was
2020.
almost like my soul or got knocked or my,
My my clock says 2020 right now. I just wanted to say that I'm looking.
hey, my soul got knocked in a way.
Yeah, that's what happened. It's like
Yeah.
I got jostled. It's like you felt your soul leave. Like what? What was that? It was just.
Well, your
I
spirit
think.
gets knocked and not your soul. Excuse me.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
if your soul gets out your body, then you're dead. But your spirit got knocked. And so it was
Mhm.
kind of like I sped up at some point between January and May,
Mhm.
because I am, retired. I'm able to meditate and be here throughout the day when my little girl's at school or what have you. So I was
Mhm.
able to be here a lot by myself. So I
Right.
was able to meditate and be able to really um, try to pull back all the facets of myself,
Mhm. Mhm.
transmute some of the energy,
Mhm.
follow, because it's a process. It's a
And you're
process.
doing all of this by yourself, right? You're doing
Yes,
this.
I only had I didn't have like someone to guide me through it's supposed to resonate your,
Yeah.
yourself when you're looking for certain things. But
Mhm.
I literally went through the back way. Like
Mhm.
I remember when I was a kid and I just followed certain breadcrumbs.
Right, 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 right.
And when I followed the breadcrumbs led through all the dark shadows of me, all the dark shadows of the matrix. And then I was able to transmute it, digest it, and transmute it
Mhm.
and alchemize it. And then be able to, because like each class is different, you got to be able to know which to follow. And that's but my breadcrumbs read from all the way from from Egypt first, from the ancient Egypt, all the way down um to
And how did you know to look back at those breadcrumbs?
um we could have different triggers amongst anything,
Okay.
because like one of my main triggers was when they took the book from the Sphinx left paw when I was a little girl, and we were standing there watching this on the news as they were bringing it out. And as soon as they brought it out, I said they should have left that there, Dad. God's gonna get them. And he says, "You think so, Key?" I said, "Yes." Now, mind you, we had not known. After a while, we just started coming up with, they started coming up with all these different technologies after that, because they were still learning how to read and interpret the book. But eventually, you follow those breadcrumbs, and I followed them correctly, so correctly that it led me to God. And when I literally was just like, "Hey, I'm not gonna put you down. I'm
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
sorry, and please, I'll work with you, work with me. Please have all the guys, be able to work with me too.
Right, right,
And
right,
all
right,
my ancestors.
right.
I was blessed to be able to get a visit from my soul family in
Mhm.
heaven, and it was beautiful.
Right, right,
It was
right, right.
beautiful.
Okay. And this is again, everybody has their own path to get to the same place.
Yes. It doesn't matter, like it doesn't matter if one person is more sinful than the next. If they come and ask God to come into their heart, he will have a journey.
Oh, absolutely. You just got to
He
be
will
open
have a
to it.
journey,
Mhm.
and everyone's different. Like I explained to my masculine, that the fact that, we are not, who are we to say that, how God brings his children back to him, whether it be through certain cultures of belief, because it goes
Right,
all back to one source.
right. And so there's people who aren't sure that that is the source, that as a mass that is that should be referred to as he or she or it
Right,
or no. But how
right.
a person feels comfortable talking to that source, then that's what they will do, and they will be acknowledged, because it's not about titles, it's about energy.
Right. It's about energy and acknowledging the source of that energy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Look at this. Now, in front of me, I'm looking at this. My Google is on my screensaver on my TV, and it looks like that card, that the Orisha card. I think it's the five of wands or seven of wands, where you come out, you go in one way and you come out the other, a transformational thing. And
Hmm.
this picture right on the screen in front of me looks just like that, like this lava and all the smoke coming out. I guess it's the top of a volcano, which is what it is on that card. And it
Mm.
just reminded me of this. It's like you go into the volcano and you come out totally transformed. And that's what you're talking about right now with transformation.
And that's beautiful, because as you're saying that, here's the other confirmation. Right when we started talking and you asked me to start explaining about the Palladians, I looked down here at my phone, and it said 5:55.
And right now it is 44:20. So we're going to stop this and upload it and continue this conversation, because this is long.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
All
So
righty.
thank you so much, Kana, for helping me today. And I appreciate, thank you, Spirit, for allowing me to get this conversation rolling. But we're going to have a part two, three, four, and five, I'm sure.
We
Okay.
will. And God bless.
God bless you too, baby. Talk to you
All right.
soon.
Bye bye.
Namaste.